Welcome to Fight for Life, a pro-life radio show discussing the ministry of First Choice Pregnancy Services here in Las Vegas. I'm Deborah, board member and executive director of First Choice Pregnancy Services.
And I'm Jessica, logistics specialist at First Choice Pregnancy Services.
We are ambassadors for the unborn. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Fight for Life friends. Thanks for joining us today. This is Jess and Eve. We're your ambassadors on behalf of the unborn babies everywhere, and we're here to share your insights and real-life stories of what we've experienced in this fight for life.
Yes, and we're kicking off our broadcast with the weekly update so you can stay connected to the First Choice Ministry and how many lives are affected by your support. From August 3rd to August 9th, 2023, First Choice provided free 50 pregnancy tests and 33 free ultrasounds to our patients. The patients we serve are mainly abortion bound, but we serve women from all walks of life. It is important to reach them with our free services and speak up for their defenseless child. If you'd like to join the conversation or if you're interested in sponsoring this radio show, give us a call to the radio station at 702-650-5588.
Today's guest is Nevada chapter 40 Days for Life founder Ken Wilson. Welcome back, Ken.
Yes, so happy to be here with you lovely ladies. It's always a delight.
We know we have some stuff kicking off soon for 40 Days for Life, so why don't you go ahead and chime in?
Well, in case you don't know what 40 Days for Life is, but because you should know by now.
By now, we should totally know what 40 Days for Life.
I
I didn't know. So I did not know what 40 Days for Life was when I first started. So maybe we have some new listeners.
Maybe, but
Let's
that was
explain then.
19 years ago we started.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so we've been going on for a while. 40 Days for Life, in a nutshell, is 40 days of prayer, 12 hours a day at least, in some cities, 24 hours a day, 40 days straight, in front of a local abortion facility somewhere in your city.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? But that's what's been happening now for almost 20 years.
That's powerful.
It's incredible. 40 days. And you say, well, Kenny, what are you talking about? You're out there for 12 hours a day for 40 straight days? How do you do it? Do you pinch a tent?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? No, I can, no. One person can't do it all. But what's happened is that God has called churches together and said, you know what, We're going to take part in this. We're going to take that day, or we're going to take half of that day, or we're going to take 2 hours there, or and organizations have come along, and they say, well, like our wonderful brothers over at the Knights of Columbus say, we're coming. We're going to take this day, that day, and the other day. And just all these great organizations have come, and churches, and just folks who just want to come and pray.
Praise God.
And so from that, the miracles have begun to flow around the world, of lives have saved, doctors who've come out, abortion clinics closed. I mean, it's just amazing. I think, oh my goodness, there was, I think they're up to 142 abortion centers closed.
Wow.
Where 40 Days for Life has been praying.
Wow.
One of those right here in Las Vegas.
Wow. Amen.
Years ago.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
his name can be
so
glorified.
and talking about abortion clinic staff that have quit, now they got a record of 251 closed. But I can tell you, just from praying where we've at, I've seen at least 3 people come out and say, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Yeah. I remember one time one of the clinic workers came out and wrapped her arms around one of the prayer folks there and said, said, thank you for praying for me. Today is my last day.
Amen.
Can you imagine that? Someone coming out of the abortion industry, hugging you and saying, thank you for praying for me. That actually happened right here in Las Vegas.
Amen.
In fact, it happened at the very abortion facility where we will be praying.
Amen.
So let's start from the beginning. We're going to do a kickoff rally. Now, you got to write this down because otherwise you're going to forget. Next month, September 24th at 2 p.m. is our kickoff rally. You say, well, Kenny, where is it going to be? And it's going to be across from First Choice at Tower of Jewels, and where we've had our vigil for the last 19 years. And that's located at 860-something East Sahara. You can't miss Tower of Jewels. It's right,
Well, the First Choice address is
and First Choice right across the street. And we're going to have it there. It's only going to be for an hour. But while we're there, you're going to get to meet the other pastors, our local pastors in there. In fact, there are three churches that, at least three, that surround that abortion facility. One of them is Trinity Life Center. They're going to be represented. And another one is a new church. It's a Grace Worship Center, I believe his name is. And the pastor there, he's coming out. He's going to be one of our speakers as well. And forgive me for not having his name at
Is
the
it
tip
the
of my
one
tongue.
that's connected to First Choice?
Yes, as a matter of fact, their church is right next door. There's
Okay.
it's a Samoan church, and so they're going to be there as well. And other pastors from other communities are going to be there, and saying that, you know what, we're going to pray, we're going to join with you for the 40 days. We're going to pick a day, a half a day, couple, whatever it is. We're going to send our people out. We've had people before from other cities come to Las Vegas. You know, from Boulder City, we've had,
Wow.
Calvary Chapels out there come out and say, we're taking this whole day.
Wow.
The Pastor King out there saying, no, we're going to take the whole day.
Wow.
And he comes with his people and pray, and just the miracles. So the kickoff rally, again, is September 24th at 2 p.m. at Tower of Jewels, and then the first day of 40 Days for Life, the kickoff day, when we can begin to pray at 7 a.m., goes from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., is going to be Wednesday, September 27th. And you say, well, Kenny, how do I get to be a part? I want to be a part. My church needs to know. I need to come pray. Well, first thing to do is log into 40daysforlife.com. 40 daysforlife.com/Las Vegas. And then you can log in, you can register, and then you'll see all the resources. We've got everything we need for your church. We've got, prayer templates. We've got media alerts. We have charts that help you, organize your prayer folks that are praying that day.
Group.
Yeah, and, because hour by hour. And so everything that you could possibly need. And then if for some reason you still have a question, you're missing something, you have a question, you have a concern, well, you can call me. You can call me, you can email me, and we can get it going. We can figure it out.
So what's your email address and phone number?
On the air, I'm doing this. My email address is ken@cacsn.org. Now you say, what does CACSN stand for? What is that? Christian Action Council of Southern Nevada. CACSN.org. And you can email me there. The website and telephone number right there, 702-250-2637. 250-2637. And you can call me, you can text me, you can do whatever you want, and we're gonna figure out how you can be a part. And the testimonies, I'll tell you something. Listen, it's easy for us. It's easy for us because we're praying. Sure, we're praying at the abortion facility, but how wonderfully easy has God provided an answer for these women where we can tell the woman and say, listen, right here, this is the abortion facility, but right here you can get a free pregnancy test and free counseling at First Choice Pregnancy Services by people who actually love you, and it won't cost you a dime.
And an ultrasound.
And an ultrasound. It's free. It's absolutely free. And you can talk to them about whatever you're concerned of, making sure, if you have the slightest doubt that you want to do this, maybe you're being pressured. Maybe you're having an economic problem. Maybe it's something. Maybe you don't even know that what you have is a child. Maybe someone told you that maybe it's a brick. It's not a brick. Okay? That's a baby that God has blessed you with, right? And you can go and you can talk to these ladies, and it's free. It's free of charge. It's what they do.
That's right.
Listen, that First Choice Pregnancy Services is a sanctuary. Now, see, they didn't know I was going to talk about this stuff today, but it's a sanctuary of life for these lovely families, mothers, and children.
Amen.
When you say sanctuary, it's a safe place. And you can go and you can talk to these ladies, and you can talk to them about your concerns. You can cry on their shoulder and say, listen, this is what's happening. And maybe they can provide an answer for you. And then past First Choice Pregnancy Services, beyond them, God is providing homes for women that are pregnant. There's other answers that you have no idea are available to you. They're right free. It's free. Oh gosh, it's free. Can you understand free? It's absolutely free. Just like the grace of God is free, so are these services. So anyway, that's how easy it is for us. We can pray, and we can show these ladies the beautiful ministry of First Choice Pregnancy Services. And guess what? God has then used you to help impact a life of a mother and a child and a family forever.
Yes.
So true.
How awesome is that?
For generations.
For generations.
That's right.
And you can be a part of it.
Amen. So tell me about this Christian Action Council. What's that?
Okay. Many years ago, many years ago, there was a national organization called Christian Action Council, and they started some crisis pregnancy centers, and some of which exist still today. And at the time that I came into the ministry, it was, I won't say the ministry was kind of just plopped into my lap, but it just plopped into my lap. There's no other way to put it.
That's how God works.
I'm just serious. I was like, one day the founders came to me and they said, Kenny, here's the account, here's the check. Give me your hand. Here's the account, here's the checkbook, here's the listen. I've got to. I just can't. I got to do. I have to do. God's called me, and here I was. And so from that, we've done some amazing things. When God opens a door like that, it's pretty easy when God says, "Here it is. Now you go and do it." Right?
Because he's backing you up.
Well, yeah, but you never know what
You're not
what it
going to be
is.
set for failure.
Of course.
If it's Him guiding you.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
And since then, we've done amazing things. Like one of the things you didn't even know about. We did a pro-life play written by Frank Peretti called Tilly. We did it 20 times, 20 different performances throughout Las Vegas.
Really?
We have the script. We created it. We created this script from Frank Peretti's book. And then I got to actually go and meet Frank Peretti where he was speaking at a pro-life event.
Wow.
And he signed my script, and he was looking through it. And he said, "This is fabulous. You have to send me a copy." So I sent him a copy, and poof, he sent it to everybody free of charge. It went out through the whole thing. And yeah, that's just one thing we did.
So who's Frank Peretti?
Frank Peretti, he wrote This Present Darkness and Piercing the Darkness, two very amazing Christian novels that I'm sure are still in print, of famous Christian author. And I'm sure he's probably still writing books, not real sure, but he wrote this small play about Tilly, and it's so powerful. One day, someone out there who is a theater performer is going to pick this play up and minister to the women who have been suffering, because the impact of this play is just so. I can go on and on. You don't want me to get stuck on that. But we did Tilly. We've done educational things. We've helped people produce. We've gone into schools. We've gone into churches. We've done presentations, and from that, it just kind of all morphed into 40 Days for Life, and here we are.
Amen.
Pretty amazing
Wow.
stuff.
Well, and that kind of leads us into just how dark and evil our world has become. It seems like each day with some of the current events that we hear, we're shocked all over again, just because it seems like the devil just takes it up to the next level. And so I know that there's some current events that Ken wants to talk about, on top of some of the things that I found out about this morning. We'll talk about that later.
Which heartbreaking thing do you want?
Well, let's talk about this woman that was forced to have an abortion against her will.
Oh, you're talking about the Australia thing?
Yeah, the transgender.
Oh, okay. Can you? I still can't wrap my head around this. So here we are in Australia, right? A woman decides that she doesn't want to be a woman anymore. She wants to become a man, and she's going to have the surgery, right? Okay. Well, guess what? She's 4 months pregnant. Now, she didn't know this.
Okay.
She thought, according to the article, she said she thought she was just having acid reflux, but it turned out it was morning sickness.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, so she goes in to have the surgery. Well, when you do the transgender sexual surgery thing, they remove all the plumbing, and then you don't have the plumbing anymore, right? And, well, guess what? She was pregnant. 4 months pregnant. And the doctors didn't tell her. Removed her uterus and killed the baby. So it's an abortion.
Wow.
And now this person is upset.
So how did she find out?
Well, obviously the doctor they had to tell
Wow.
him, disclosure. Isn't that crazy how just the insanity that our world is entering into? It's just more evidence that the enemy knows his time is short.
That's
it's just
right.
more evidence. It's crazy. And then I've heard in another town, I think was it Atlanta? I'm not sure, but there's the satanic temples have now put out billboards which say that it says abortion saves lives. Billboards now. These are big highway sign billboards. Abortions save lives. How?
You might as well just say
How do you?
the sky is green.
How? What?
Doesn't make any sense.
In what reality is that?
I know. I actually took a recent trip driving my daughter to Oklahoma, and we went to Albuquerque, And as soon as you hit the New Mexico border,
Yeah.
pass from Arizona into New Mexico, it has a welcome sign, a welcome billboard
Oh no.
welcoming everyone as it's an abortion sanctuary state. And that happened ever since this whole satanic temple thing is happening, and where they will be able to go and have these baby sacrifices and be able to kill their babies legally under what they state is religion. Can you believe that?
You know, that's not my church. You know, that's not my God. My God is all about blessing life
Yeah.
Giving
and
life.
creating and giving life. Is life. He is life.
He says, I am the way.
The way, the truth, and life.
That's why this is why we need 40 days for life to continue praying for these mothers and providers even. And the other thing is I want to shout out to my church that I attend, Trinity Life Center, because our vision. Listen, we're beyond seeing First Birth Control Care Center close. Was I supposed to use the name of that place? Close, right? We know God's going to close it. We're actually praying that God will allow us to open up a hospital. And because now it's already zone medical, if we can buy that building and the property that it sits on once it closes, our vision, our pastor's vision is to open a hospital with a maternity ward a half a block away from First Choice. I mean, how awesome would that be? And that's the vision that God has given Trinity Life Center, and that's what we're praying for. We're praying. That's part of the things that we're praying for. As 40 Days for Life, just a miracle of God.
That would be definitely
Wouldn't that
wonderful.
be awesome?
That would be a wonderful thing, as we see women that think that they're coming to an abortion clinic when they arrive at First Choice, or their GPS has mistakenly taken them to First Choice when they're supposed to be going to an abortion appointment.
Well, we know who's guiding them there.
That's right.
Amen.
The Holy Spirit.
So, for example, we had a woman recently that came in and she was needing a medical detox, very visibly pregnant. Very, very visibly pregnant, but she needed to be detoxed off of drugs. So she was on meth.
Wow.
Yes, she's on meth. And anyhow, she arrived with her friend, and she started filling out the paperwork. We got her all checked in and everything, and the next thing you know, she disappeared. Her and her friend both disappeared. And our receptionist went out into the lobby. There's her paperwork all crumbled up on the floor, and they're gone. Next thing you know, our receptionist is getting a phone call maybe 5-10 minutes later, and she asks some questions because she is fearful she's in some trouble and she didn't want to get turned in. And so we told her, you're safe here. Like
Yeah.
you said, this is a sanctuary. This is a safe place for you to come and receive the services that you need. So reluctantly, she ended up coming back, still very paranoid. As she was not in her right mind, you can tell. And that's when Eve takes her back right away into her point. I said, when they are that fearful, the womb is the most dangerous place for that baby to be. And while she didn't mark off on her paperwork that she was seeking out an abortion, when she was brought back to the room, you want to take over the story from there?
Yes, I mean, we had that one-on-one counsel with her. We wanted to see exactly what her intentions were with her baby. She was very confused and distraught. And she just wanted to have that verification of pregnancy in her hand, but she didn't know what else to do. We went ahead and scheduled her to do an ultrasound that same day because of the situation, the circumstances that she was under. And as I'm letting her know, hey, ultrasound is going to be here, they're going to pick you up from your room to take you to ultrasound, she steps out. And she goes along with her friend, and to our disbelief, and our heart was just sinking, they go directly into the abortion clinic.
No.
Matter of fact, she disappeared. She disappeared again. We were following her on the surveillance camera, and she started to walk toward her and her friend walked toward the and the friend just straight up lied to us. Mm-hmm. The friend said, "Oh, I have to go pick up my kids from their daycare. They're about to get kicked out of the daycare. I have to go right now." Mm-hmm. So I said, Well, you can go. We'll pay for her to get transportation to wherever she's needing to to get home after she receives her services here. We don't have a problem with that. Instead, she comes back. She gets her pregnancy verification form. Wouldn't stick around for the ultrasound. Walks out and starts heading directly toward the abortion clinic. We're like, you got to be kidding me. So as she's getting closer, she starts actually going toward the porn production company, and then disappeared. They both disappeared. We watched and watched and watched to see if they were going to go through that abortion clinic gate, and we couldn't find them.
Wow.
So we don't know if they sat there and waited and ended up going when we looked away. I don't know. But
Just so everybody understands, incredibly, you mentioned the porn production company. There literally is right next to the abortion facility a porn production company business. It's amazing. And across the street is churches. And on the other side of that is another church. I mean, it's I've never seen such complete darkness and light surrounding the darkness in such a compact area as that spot in our city. There's nothing like it. That's why we need to pray.
that's why we say all the time that is the front lines of the battle on the war on life. And so we tell them when we go and give tours, we take them right to that line, right where First Choice's property ends. Is evil on that side. It's evil on that side.
Pure
on
darkness.
this side, it's light.
And on the other side is light.
Exactly, they're surrounded by light. But and then on the other side of First Choice is also a satanic temple. So
Yeah.
it's like, we are literally
Yeah.
just in a hub of dark and light warring against everything on that street.
Guess who wins?
That's
Guess
right.
who wins?
God
The
wins
one
in
and
the end.
only.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Absolutely.
May his name be praised and glorified always.
Amen.
Amen. That's
That's the
right.
God
And
we
we
serve.
get to partake in that victory.
Amen.
And I just wanted you to know there's good news that are just waiting to happen and blossom as you
Amen.
pray and intercede and support First Choice and the ministries that are helping to come alongside and saying, you know what, we're going to make a difference. We are
Yes.
going to make a difference. I'm either going to make it with my pocketbook, I'm going to get it on my knees and pray, I'm going to be out there, whatever it takes. And you're going to make a difference. And the blessings that are given to you from your efforts are eternal. I can't stress this enough. The people that have been saved, the children that are alive, some of them have grandchildren since we've been out there now. It's been that long.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Praise God.
That
Or
is
maybe
amazing.
they even have God-given talents that they can go ahead and
Oh, absolutely.
support First Choice using their talents for that beautiful ministry.
From counseling to data entry to medical to you name it.
God uses the events, whether they be tragic or happy events that have happened to us in our life, for his glory. Once you go through the doors of First Choice and surrender to volunteer and help in this ministry, he will. We were just talking about it this morning. Some of the events that led to me knowing that when I started volunteering at First Choice, that this was God's purpose and will for my life. And you realize that as soon as you start, this is God's will for my life, and you are walking right in the path of God's will when you go into First Choice. Everything that led to me going to First Choice, as with many other people that go there, every person that's there, God has called them to this ministry for a reason.
That's right.
And that is fulfilling your purpose or God's purpose for your life. We don't have time to talk about it today, but we were discussing it even just this morning, how God has used the events that has happened in our lives to lead us here. And so that's actually going to be the theme of our banquet, October 6th at 5 p.m. It's our biggest fundraiser of the whole year, and it helps us to keep providing these free services to the women in our community. We hope you can join us that night. You can register even right now at fcpsfriends.org. Our keynote speaker is going to be Robin Sertel, who is a 3-time abortion survivor and who was then raised by the same woman that tried to kill her 3 times. It's going to be I know, right? Try to wrap your mind around that. It will be, a true story of forgiveness, God's grace, and mercy. But But it's going to be a black and white event, so we're just asking that everyone come wearing black and white.
Oh, cool.
Does not have to be a tuxedo, but it's
Oh, no,
going.
I'm thinking tux.
I mean, and you're welcome to wear a tuxedo,
Right.
but it doesn't have to be a tuxedo. But the theme is beauty from ashes and being a lifeline. So we know that God's purpose in our lives and how He uses the events in our lives to prepare us for His purpose. So we hope that you can make it. Thank you so much for joining us on Fight for Life today. Make sure that you tune back in next week at 12:30 p.m. Have a blessed week.
God bless you.
Thanks for joining your ambassadors for the unborn on the Fight for Life radio today and every Thursday on KKVV 1060 AM, the best news radio, the gospel airship.
If you'd like to support the cause of saving unborn babies, or if you have a question you'd like us to answer on the air, go to fcpsfriends.org or call us at 702-294-CARE. Again, that number is 702-294-2273.
On behalf of his little ones,
Thank you.